Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. If you are here for the Student Academic Resource Center Academic Success Workshop on final exams, then you're in the right place. We're going to spend the next 45 minutes to 50 minutes together talking about how can we gain confidence going into our final exams? How can we be in control of our time during this crucial time of the semester? We're going to talk about how do we keep our goals in front of us and our motivation high. Does that sound like a good agenda to you? Something that we need a little extra with? Okay, so let's go ahead and make this happen. So final exams right around the corner. Why are we all in a buzz about this? What is it about final exams that tend to increase our stress level as opposed to test one?
It's cumulative.
Cumulative? What else? What else? Yes.
Sometimes the finals count more than tests.
Point value. What else? What's another reason why? Yes, sir.
A lot of times if you're taking the final, you need to take the final, and that's your grade right there.
Oh. Am I phrasing this right? Are you saying that sometimes that's your only
It's not
grade?
your only grade, but it's a big indicator of whether your grade's going to be that C, B, or an A.
Okay. So can we say a defining grade? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. All the marbles are riding on that. What else? Yes, sir.
After you take the final, you can't do anything else to change your grade.
It's final. No more, oh, I can make it up on test 2. Or, oh, okay, well, they go ahead and drop the lowest. Oh, well, it's all right, I read in there too, they'll double the final. Well, no, I'm taking the final, so there's no way to double another one. Okay? It is what it is. It's final. Done, goodbye, see you later. End. Now, that causes stress to anything that becomes final in nature. So that's why our stress is up. Any other thoughts of why we're more freaked out over our final exams as opposed to test 1?
You forget a lot of the stuff that you previously learned.
Nice. Retaining information from test 1. Or I can remember in my case when I was in college just what we did the day before. Okay, yes. Yes, ma'am, and then I'm going to come right here.
That you're afraid that teachers will put like trick questions.
Yeah. I'm going to change that up to payback. She's not probably far from the truth on that, is she? Would you agree with that? There's sometimes that could crawl and creep into a mind of one. I hope it's not the majority. I don't think it is, but you have a lot of people here who are agreeing with you on that. My friend, and then we'll come right here.
A lot of exams at once.
Yeah, nice. All finals. There's truly sometimes no more papers and a final, or a test going on. It's all studying. There's no homework still to turn in. Okay, excellent. Yes, my friend.
They're all like longer or harder than most of your other tests.
Let's put longer in length. And we'll put harder because of the comprehension part of it. You might not have had the opportunity to be tested on this last portion of material presented in class. So you're going, oh my, not only do I have to know everything since test 1, now I also have to master something that I just learned, and I haven't had an opportunity to be tested on it to know if I'm headed down the right path. There's not a lot of last-minute quizzes going on. All right, last-minute homework assignments where you can get the feedback needed. So yeah, this is enough that can cause stress for all of it. Okay, this is enough. Let's stop with the list there because I don't want anybody losing it here. Okay, but everything you guys have up there, very valid, very valid. So let's take a couple of these and see if we can come up with some solutions for them about how can we get through this time period. Let's come up with some solutions. Now, there's a couple of them that were up there, you know, the fact that they're cumulative, maybe longer in length, you know, more material. We can't really do anything about it. It's up to the professor's discretion to do as they please in this thing. But how can we go ahead and work on our confidence going into finals? How can we work on our confidence?
Reverse planning, like you put everything on your calendar.
Wow. Where'd you learn that from? Yeah? Look at you. Look at you. Anybody's going to use language like that from something? Yeah, go ahead. Nicely done. Reverse planning. That's what the green sheet is that's in front of you. That's the green sheet in front of you, is an exercise on reverse planning that you can play around with at your leisure. Okay? And that is starting with when your finals are, get them down on paper. Get them into your planner. Use this sheet if you want. Get that material into your planner, and then you start to work backwards. The night before my math exam, what should I be reviewing? The only thing you should be reviewing the night before a math final are the formulas that you need to know, and maybe any final comprehension that you're still having maybe some questions about sine and cosine. But it shouldn't be volume of material you're looking at for the first time. See the difference between that? So then the night before that, you're saying, okay, I have to have my formula sheet done because the next day, that's when I'm studying. And you just keep working backwards. And there's a sample calendar in there of how you can work backwards. Okay? By having that organized and having a plan of attack through reverse planning, that's going to increase your confidence because you're in control of it. You got it all mapped out, exactly how you're going to roll. You got it all mapped out. No issues, no problems. That increases confidence. When you're in control, confidence increases. How else can we do it? How else can we gain some confidence? Yes, ma'am.
Enough sleep.
Yeah, very good. And I'm going to talk about putting that together, if you don't mind, with keeping our emotions in check a little bit. Okay? Keeping our emotions in check. Yes, ma'am.
I noticed like study groups help me a lot.
Very good. I'm glad you brought that up. Oops. Study groups and study partners, we'll say there. Very good. Let's go back to the emotions part a little bit. We've got to keep that in check a little bit. It is stressful. It is overwhelming. But the quicker you get your mind and your head around what you're about ready to go through, the better off you are. This also goes along with making some decisions. Back in the day, picture it, 1980, I graduated, 87. I was at a school in North Carolina taking my finals. And there was a particular course called statistics. Yeah, not mine. Yeah, I hear you, best friend on that. No, it wasn't my best friend at all. Statistics and I didn't get along in the fall of 1987 at all. And I had 4 other classes I was taking as well, so I had a total of 5 classes that semester. I knew, because I calculated everything, looked everything over, statistics just wasn't going to be something that I was going to be successful at that particular semester. In other words, folks, I was going to fail it. Yeah, I was trying to be positive. I was going to fail it. So that's the decision I had to make, is going, you know what, I'm just going to drop back and punt. I've got 4 other classes that I knew through my analysis that I could rock still and bring those A's and B's home. Stats, well, that's why we have grade forgiveness. And I just let it go. I let it go. I said to myself, it's okay. You're not a failure. You're not going to be kicked out of the university. You're not going to get grounded. I checked that ahead of time. I wasn't going to get grounded. I wasn't going to be placed on probation. I wasn't going to be held back from graduating. Statistics was not meant to be that semester for me. So I just dropped back and punted and said, let me rock these last 4. And I did. 2 A's, 2 B's, and an F. It's not academic probation, not even close. So that helped me with my mindset instead of going and worrying and going, oh my gosh, I got to get an A in statistics. I had an F going into the final. Do you think an A was going to happen? See what I'm saying about making decisions? You know, and I'm starting to hear that now from students who are coming into our office. You know, and they're like, I have to make an A. What's your average right now? At 19. If I'm a betting girl, and that's not to say you can't achieve an A in there, but do you see where I'm going with the psychological part of that? You got to sometimes just drop back and punt and go, okay. And that's what I did. I still took the final in statistics, wanted to see what it was about. So I still took the final, you know, help me for next time. Doodled all over the paper, made up answers. I was first one done, turned it in, and I said to the professor, I said, see you next semester. Well, I took somebody different, of course, but I just wanted him to feel good. You know, so I said, see you next semester. And I'm like, didn't take him, took somebody else. In the spring of '89, when I took stats, B+. It was meant to be in the spring. Statistics and spring, they go together. That's what works for me. Statistics fall, not so much. But that's the level you have to put those decisions at. But I have a lot of students that say, I've never failed a class. I've never failed a quiz. I've never failed it. You've only lived a little while. There's going to be more of these that happen in life, trust me, but you will persevere and move on. Let's put a little context and perspective around it. Now, let me flip that, okay? I also have students who are coming in saying, I've got to get an A, I've got to get an A. What's your average going into the final? A 93.6. If I'm a betting girl, guess what the odds are that you're going to continue that? Pretty good. So you also need to look back at your own work, okay? Remember your successes. If you've done it all semester, you're going to do it again. 93.6 average students do not all of a sudden fail the final. It doesn't happen. Okay? So your confidence should be shooting high. Just because it's a final, don't give it that much. You're giving it way too much power. If you've been just jamming it, rocking it, all those things you all love to say, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You will do it again. And that's how you have to look at it. Let me do it again. Okay? But let's be realistic when it comes to some of this. Be realistic with it. If you're questioning a bigger picture of it, and there are some students here at UCF, it happens, okay, where maybe this grade does depend on whether or not you return. Then get with your academic advisor, get with a professor, and find out worst case scenario, figure it out, and move on. So you know, so you're not thinking in the library when you're studying for stats, oh my goodness, what if, what if? What if, when you should be going mean, median, and mode means, instead of what if. That's going to play with your psyche there. Figure it all out, worst case scenario, because that's human nature. We like worst case scenarios. We don't like best case scenarios. Why would we go investigate that? We should, but as humans, we don't. So figure out what it is and move on. Move on from it, but make these good decisions here. And it's okay if you have to drop back and punt. It is not going to prevent you from getting into medical school. It is not going to prevent you from being a CEO. It is not going to prevent you from graduating here. Trust me. I always need to remember to bring my transcript when I go to do these kind of talks. All right? I have a solid F, a solid D, and 2 grade forgivenesses on my transcript. And I've got 3 degrees. No stopping. Absolutely not. Okay? So don't give it too much power there. Remember your successes. okay? And many of you in here have them. If you've got, you got a paper back or you got a test back and it was a 96, you ought to make photocopies of that and put it all over your dorm room. Look at it. I did it once, I'll do it again. Okay, what's the problem? Move on next. All right? Make a decision about what you want to wear to the final. Make that be the big thing. Not how you're going to do. Okay? So that's good. Now, my friend mentioned study groups. Very true. Very true. What are the benefits that you've found in study groups, if you don't mind me asking?
I noticed like when I'm really confused on a part that they hopefully will understand, they can talk like on my term, like lower to me to say this is how you can do it, or even if you think you're doing something right, or this problem, incorrectly, they can talk to you about it.
Very true. That teaching to one another, best way to increase your confidence. Because if somebody said, oh, now I finally get it, that helps you, then you know you can explain it. I want to just change up one thing you said when you said about talking lower. Okay, I get that. It's just, you're just not a professor in the field, but don't say lower.
That's
Somebody
fine.
at your level. No, don't
Somebody at my
apologize.
level, thank you.
Don't apologize. I just don't want you to say lower because that's not true. All right, you deserve better than that word. Okay, because no, it's true. When I was a tutor as an undergrad myself, same thing. Students would come to me for math help, and they'll say, why can't the professor say it like you? Well, I'm not a professor and they're not a student. That's why. I'm not a mathematician. I don't say the variable. It's the letter. That's what it is. I don't go around, spouting all that. I have little tricks and things and little songs that I have in my head for product chain and quotient rule. And the only reason I remember that from 23 years ago is because I tutored it for 3 years. So when you teach it to somebody else, you don't forget it, and your skills are elevated. So yes, study groups are very, very helpful. And obviously, you're picking the right people for your study group too, or you wouldn't be talking about this as positively as you are. So do you have an interview process for your study group?
I see everybody does in their first test, and I really listen to their questions they ask in class.
Nice. Okay, everybody's going to want your, cell phone number and stuff afterwards for whatever exams you're taking. But yeah, it's important that you have a good study group together and not the person who's going to be bringing the drama up in there, people who are going to talk. Oh, we've had that apparently because I heard some gasp. Okay? Nobody's going to bring the drama. Nobody's going to be sitting there saying, this class is stupid. Why do we have to learn? You don't need to be around that kind of stuff. You need to go, see ya. Move on to somebody else. All right, you've got to have good people surrounding you and people that will stay focused. Because what's the biggest problem with study groups?
Talking.
Yeah, about Dancing with the Stars. How's that going to get me an A in stats? It's not going to. Okay, yeah, you have that kind of chit-chat going on. All right, pick the good people to be in your study group. My other recommendation with study groups too, especially with finals, meet 2 days before the final, not the night before. Be alone the night before. That's your time. Okay? That should be your time. Maybe meet 2 days prior to, especially if you're doing that self-taught. Okay? That self-taught. And here I've got a great example for this. Okay? Great example for this. Again, back in the day, I went ahead and had a study group put together for, what was that class that I took? Economics. Study group together in the library. And this guy that I really found attractive, that was in my class, came by the library, and he's like, oh, can I study with you? Absolutely. Of course you can. Have a seat. So he sat down next to me, and I'm like, yay, and all this stuff, and not thinking about econ whatsoever. Supply and demand went right out the window. But anyways, we started to get into it, and we were talking about one of the formulas that we had to learn for econ. And he's saying to me, well, the way you have it written down is incorrect. No, I'm pretty sure I take good notes in class. I think what I have here is right. No, that's not what I have. This is the way you have to do it. Really? No matter how cute he is, ladies, doesn't mean he's right. Because I went ahead and took his advice and said, oh, you must be correct on this because I don't know what I'm doing in econ, my hero. So I'll go ahead and do what you've just said. And we met the night before. Guess what? What do you think happened? Got it wrong on the exam, thanks to him. Is that really where I should have put the blame? No, but that's where I'd like to put it. But it didn't give me another day to email that professor or talk to that professor going, I'm in question about something that was said. Okay, that's the other reason, and I say do 2 days. So in case you need to look something up, you've got some ample time to do it. All right, but study groups are very good. Have the good people in there. Okay? Another way that we can increase our confidence here is by having our goals in front of us. Figuring out what those goals are and putting them down in front of us when we study. As long as they're realistic, write them down, put it in front of you. So you're sitting here at the table in the library and then in the study union. You're sitting there at the table. This is you sitting. That's about as good as it gets, folks. All right. You've got your papers. You've got your little index cards here. That's supposed to be a cup of soda. That's real bad, but that's where I'm at, okay? Then over here in the corner, you have a card. And you put 86 on it. Because if I get an 86 on that exam, bam, I get an A. Put it down in front of you. Don't be thinking about it. Put it down in front of you. So the moment that this soda is empty, and you say to yourself, oh, time for a refill. I'll go all the way to Waterford Lakes to get a new soda so I can procrastinate. You're looking at this and going, I'm not that thirsty. Or when cute guy comes over, oh, well, that's me. That's him, okay? So cute guy comes over. Nope, sorry. Can't, nope, 86, gotta get an 86. With me, guy comes over, that goes down to a 56. All right, so that's what you gotta do, stay focused. Stay focused, this is going in a totally different direction, isn't it? Okay, stay focused on that. Keep your goals in sight. Keep your goals in sight of you. Don't think about them, put it down and look at them. That makes it motivational. That's what can keep you on target. Make them realistic, and you can have that happen. Okay? Let's get rid of that. Okay. Now, another thing that can help with our mental state during this time, and it increases confidence as well, is getting organized. Now, you have to get organized. Not the night before your exam, you get organized. Not 2 days before the final, you get organized. Now is the time. This weekend is the time to get organized. So now you already know your finals, don't you? Do you know whether you have a cumulative or whatever the situation happens to be? You should. Find that out now, okay? Find out your information about your finals now. Know all those things that you talked about, okay? What is going to be the style of it? Is it comprehensive? Is it just over the last 3 chapters? Find out the point value of it. Is it 100 points? Is it 200 points? Is it one of those games that some like to play? If it's 50% higher than the national average or whatever it happens to be, it'll increase by 2. I don't even know what that means, but that's what I've been reading on syllabus, okay? Find out what that point value is. Find out what you need on that final, like my friend said, to either boost your grade up a letter grade or be able to maintain. Because when they say boost it up and they go, you need 116 points, well, that's not going to happen. So what do I need to maintain it? Oh, well, you need an 80 or better. Oh, now I know how I'm studying. I only have to study for an 81. True? No, see, overachievers can't relate to that. No, see, I can. Yes, you study for an 81 or an 81 and a half, and you move on. Okay, helps you know how to study for it. Now, the biggest part of the information you want to know is what is on the final. Don't you? Wouldn't you love to know what's on the final? Ask your professor. They're the ones that's making up the exam. Ask them. How do you ask your professors what is on the final? Do you say, sir, what's on the comprehensive final? Do you really want to do that? No. What's wrong with that sentence? Too vague. And didn't you just answer your own question? What's on the comprehensive final? The word comprehensive should be a clue. Now, does that truly mean everything? No, it doesn't. So if you do some work now in advance and get in front of your professors, you can go ahead and know what's on it. Very easy. Get yourself here a separate folder, okay? Ladies, you're going to love this because you get to go to the school supply aisle in the Target, and we know how much we love that, okay? Am I speaking the truth? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You don't think that that has a lot to do with it? The courses that I dreaded the most, I had the best looking binder known to man. That was the one that I always wrote in like the turquoise or in the pink, because there is something about that kind of thing. If you have positive energy around it, instead of like how I used to, if I ever had to take an English course, it was always black. Everything was black. You know, hate English. Okay? No, flip that around. All right? Come on, Target and Walmart, are you kidding me? They have those pink bubble folders and all that fun glitter pens. Go get them. Helps. Y'all are looking at me strange, but it helps. I'm serious. Okay? Get yourself a folder. That folder, you call it history. All right? On the front of that folder, you write down, when is the exam? Put the date, the time, everything on it, what you need to bring to it. Do I need a brown Scantron or do I need a green Scantron? Do I need a number 2 pencil or do I need a black pen? Have it all put together. Have it all put together so you know exactly what it is. It's all in one spot. Inside the folder is your condensed notes, etc. Not everything, because it's not on everything. It's not. Get with some good people in a study group and go, what do we all think could be on that final? And 9 times out of 10, if 5 people in that study group all say the same thing, it's probably on the final. So you got to do a little digging with that. But the bigger part is get with your professor. Go into their office hours with the notes already done in a condensed version and say, sir, madam, doctor, genius, whatever works. It's the end of the semester, throw genius in there. Okay? Whatever works. Here are the notes that I'm figuring I need to review. If I do this, am I headed in the right direction, yes or no? It's better than what's on it. See the difference between those two? Because let me tell you, folks, I have to sidetrack for 1 second. I'm an instructor here at UCF. All right? Right now, the riffraff is starting to come out of the woodworks. And by riffraff, those are your colleagues who have not come to class since spring break. And now going, oh my goodness, how can I get some extra credit? Extra credit? What do you mean extra credit? We don't do extra credit in college, please. It doesn't exist. What is this? You don't understand. This is the email I got the other day. You don't understand. I'm on I have a scholarship. I have to get an A in here. Go ahead and get the A. Bring me the work that's A work. I'll be more than happy to reward you at. When this kind of talk starts to come, you don't want to be lumped into that group. So that's why you don't want to say what's on the exam, because that's what they're getting bombarded with right now. Go in there and show them, this is what I have. I've got this. This is what I think is going to be on the final. Am I headed in the right direction? Let them review it with you. There you go. Then you know exactly what you need. It's not everything. It's 8 to 10 concepts that you probably need to know, not 25 of them. So we have to do a little detective work on it. Look back on your tests. Look back on your quizzes. Look back in your notes. Wow, he spent 3 days on this. She spent a lot of time, and I remember how energized she was for this kind of a lecture. They're going to put that right on the exam. They're absolutely going to put that on the exam. You need to be looking for words. This is essential to know. You must know this. Be listening for those words now. Really cluing in. You got to be a very active listener. Put them all in that folder. That's all you have to do. Okay? So you don't go, if you don't mind, You don't want to look at this and go, I've got to know all this in a matter of a week. No. All you need to know is what's ever in a folder. Big difference. Okay? Knock that down. Don't just sit back and say, let me figure it out. Go to the person who's creating the exam. All right? But be very careful how you say it so you don't get lumped into your colleagues there, because you don't deserve that. Do you? No. All right? Show them that you mean business there and that's what you want to get. Okay? So let's get ourselves organized. Condense all that information down, get it into a folder, make it happen. That will increase confidence and less stress. The more you write and get it out of your head, the less stress you become. Okay? The less stress you become. A couple other things about finals as well. My friend mentioned it before about sleeping. You've got to keep your pattern of sleep the same. Now, I'm not going to say, as many people do in my field, go to bed early. Are we preaching to the wrong choir about this? Okay, hello? All right, you say to people my age now, go to bed early, because we already are, all right? You don't say to a college student, you should get a good night's sleep. Go to bed at 9 o'clock. Y'all are just rocking at 9, aren't you? Again, I see it through the emails. I know you are. The next morning, I'm already in bed. Okay? But keep whatever sleep pattern you have, keep it the same. Keep it the same. If, again, look at your outcome. If you have a B or an A going into this final, whatever you've been doing all semester has worked, keep it going. There's no need to do those all-nighters. No need to do it. No need to. It will mess your sleep pattern up, your eating pattern, everything if you pull that. Don't do it. Whatever's been working, make it happen. Just because it's a final, again, doesn't mean you have to all of a sudden become a round-the-clock person. It will mess you up. All right, so keep your sleep pattern or whatever study pattern works for you the best. Nobody should question it if you're getting those A's and B's. Do it again. Watch your eating. All right, some people, when we're stressed, we like to eat. Anybody want to join my group? Yes, very good, thank you. Okay, watch some of that. As much as you are craving the nachos the night before, watch that, because the worst thing is to go into your final the next morning going, this isn't feeling good here. So, little nacho action, you know. Watch your eating. It's the worst thing to wake up sick. You don't want to be sick right now. All right? Get those multivitamins going. All right? Anybody in your dorm room or on your floor, even in your class who is sick, move. Worst thing is to have a head cold for a final. Oh, I just feel terrible when I hear that students are that sick. So watch your eating, bulk up on some of that. Okay? Watch the stressful eating. All right? People have asked me, is there anything called brain food? That if I eat more of this, the only thing I've been able to find on that for some reason is celery. That's all I've been able to find. I don't know why, but everybody says celery.
I thought fish was.
I'm sorry?
Peppermints are supposed to give you.
Peppermints?
Yes.
So my science teachers used to give us when
Oh, for the FCAT. Yeah, peppermint. That's good.
Chewing gum helps a lot too, because how I looked at it is if you chew gum, you're very distracted.
Yeah.
On your mouth, you're not like, oh, what's going
Yeah,
on?
what else is
What's
going-
on?
Very
So
true.
If you chew gum, they say like
Very
it
true.
really boosts your
Mm-hmm.
memory up.
Right, and that makes you a smarter person because you're retaining it. Yeah, being active while you study is a good thing. So, you know, the popcorn and all of that kind of good stuff is something to do there. Just watch them. If you've never drank a Red Bull before, I don't recommend starting to experiment with that during finals. Okay? And on a serious note, there are illegal drugs out there that are stimulants. You know, you've got your speed, you've got all this other kind of stuff that you go, this is something I might need to take. I've got a lot riding on this. I've got to stay up in that. You don't ever want to do that. Okay? Besides all the other ramifications of it, it's just going to mess with you. It is not a time to experiment. It is not. Okay? Make those good decisions. Get the stuff down on paper. Organize your time. You're not going to need any of that other stuff. And those are 3 things you can control. You can control them. Okay? questions or thoughts on anything regarding this? A little bit better than 40 minutes ago? Or did I overwhelm? A little bit better? Do you have a question, sir?
Well, kind of a thought.
Mhm.
I've noticed with study groups also, not only can they help you if you're misunderstanding something,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if you don't understand something and you see that somebody else doesn't, it'll make you a lot more confident
Sure.
about admitting it.
Sure. There's no problem with that. You haven't been alive long enough to be experts. It's okay. It's okay. And that is something I just know it's a struggle. There's a lot of literature out there right now with your generation. I never thought I'd ever say that I was in a different generation than the students, but I am. Okay? Your generation, that's what's going on. It's this strive for perfection. I've yet to meet a perfect person. Well, the other day I was pretty perfect. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't. Okay? You know, there's nothing out there like that. Okay? It's bigger than the A's. Now, on a crazy note, if I didn't have some of these so-called failures that I've opened up to you about that I had, I wouldn't be able to be doing as good a job as I think I do in the position I'm in now. So there's a reason why you go through some of this stuff. It's bigger than that A right now, and it's okay. Okay? It is all right. Thank you for that. I appreciate your comment on it. Okay? All right, well, I wish you guys the best of luck on your finals. I want to thank you for attending this workshop today, and we will see you at the next SARC Academic Success Workshop Seminar.